Hey everybody, I'm ZeldaMaster and welcome back to Epona Express. Alright, so this is probably the first episode that's actually on schedule, which is a surprise because at the end of every Epona Express, I usually say that the series is meant to be bi-weekly and I never actually deliver on that. But hey, it's been 2 weeks since the last episode and well, we're finally back, so we're on schedule and hopefully we'll remain on schedule. I have a lot more planned in this episode than the previous. Last episode it was mainly an update with the Q&A, but alongside that I actually want to talk about the Nintendo Direct as well as my most recent video. I feel like I should address that. And last but not least, at the way end of the video, I'm going to have a little contest that whoever wins it will actually win a pretty sweet prize. This is going to be the first in hopefully, a long series of mini Zelda-like, contests that we're going to be doing. It's mainly challenges that you're going to have to take on. I'll get more into it at the end of this video, so hopefully you guys are excited for that. But anyways, let's just go ahead and get into, I guess, the small update I want to update you guys about, and that is mainly, the lack of videos for this past week and the most recent video I uploaded, last Friday. And yeah, so the reason why I wasn't uploading last week is because I was working so hard on the video I uploaded Friday. I feel like every Epona Express I always say I have a lot of cool ideas and videos that will take a lot longer than a normal LP that I just want to focus on and put out, and that idea kind of was something I just wanted to put out immediately. I didn't want to sit and have it wait, so I'm really glad that I got to it, and it seems like you guys really enjoyed. I mean, I know a lot of people got upset because I'm hating on Breath of the Wild, but I don't really feel like I need to clarify this, but the video was mainly satire. It was Dark Luke, the one hating on it. As much as these things did bother me in Breath of the Wild, it wasn't really to that degree. Breath of the Wild is still my favorite Zelda game, and I don't know, I just thought it'd be fun to have a different type of commentary on the game. The game is always praised, and no one really criticizes it, so I thought it'd be cool for one of, I'm like one of the biggest fans out there, to actually just criticize the game and call it out. I think that was a fun concept, but I do have a more informative slash, less hateful Breath of the Wild video coming out. It won't be as controversial as the last one, but it's gonna have something to do with the Masterworks, which I have right here. I really want to, oh, it's upside down. I really want to get to this, and we are getting an English version later this year, which is gonna be Making of a Champion or something like that. I already forgot the name that Dark Horse is giving it, but it's not called Masterworks. I like the name Masterworks. They both sound cool, but my point here is they're going to be coming out with an English version, I think, next month. It should be real soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but my point is, I've been looking through this book so much, and while I can't translate what it says because it is in Japanese, I found a lot of cool concept art and stuff, and I feel like it'd be cool to kind of look at some of it and compare it with Breath of the Wild. This was an idea I had for a while, but now that I'm finally getting back into the swing of things, I think I can actually do this. And don't worry, when the Making of a Champion or whatever the Masterworks English version comes out, I will definitely be making a video on that, and definitely reading all the interviews and tidbits we can get from the developers so I can, really see what the making of this game truly was like. And I think it'd be cool to make a video on that, so just overall expect videos regarding this. But outside of that, I want for the rest of this week to hopefully finish up Ocarina of Time 3D Master Quest, because I know I put it on delay all of last week and there was a good amount of you guys wanting it back. I feel bad having to have put it on delay, but I just want to at least put out one of these, video ideas that I had instead of constantly stalling it, because Ocarina of Time 3D was dragging out. I was feeling bad, coming back to YouTube after, just constantly going on hiatus every here and there and not really having a more quality video, something that I'm really proud to put out. And it was really awesome to put out that video, but I want to put out more like that, just like stuff that I put way more effort into and that just generally gets a better reception than like every LP video that I normally put out. So look forward to more of that hopefully in the upcoming week. But throughout this week I'm just going to try to finish Ocarina of Time 3D Master Quest so we can just generally move on from that. For those asking about Xenoblade, because recently the DLC came out. Well, I don't know if it came out for everyone, but I have access to it. I believe like it was early for those who have the you know, what's it called, DLC expansion pass. There you go, that's the thing Nintendo calls it, because in Breath of the Wild it was expansion pass, and in Xenoblade 2 it's known as the expansion pass. That give you a bunch of cool DLC goodies, and in it was obviously the Golden Country for, you know, Torna, the DLC. I'm really excited to get into it. I haven't actually really played it yet, but I'm super hyped for it. Thing is, I don't know exactly what I want to do with the Xenoblade LP, because we already have this DLC coming out, and I have yet to finish the main LP, and I haven't touched that in so long, so I don't really know how many people really want me to finish that. So the general plan here is, after I finish Master Quest, I might look into maybe LPing the DLC, and if that does well, maybe we'll just finish the main game after that, or maybe I'll stream the main game and finish it. I don't really know. Like, I want to finish the LP and not leave it, but I feel like I've been so inconsistent, and I'm so late now. Like, it'd be really hard to really want to see me finish the game, especially if you're into the game and you probably already beat it, you know, looking forward to now the DLC. So, for those who really want me to play Xenoblade, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But, you know, in general, I'm just going to be focusing on, you know, like I said, you know, more higher quality videos and just finishing up the remaining Zelda LPs I have. And for those wondering about the Let's Races, hopefully it'll come back soon. I've been trying to, you know, link up with HMK and get the final episodes out. He's just been fairly busy. And with Matt, don't worry, we're not going to have another month delay until the next part. Hopefully sometime next week I'll have a Skyward Sword Let's Race out as well. But, alright, outside of that, I do want to also talk about the new info we got in the Nintendo Direct. I think that would be kind of cool to touch up upon before I get into the Q&A, and then kind of end off the video with the little contest I have planned. So just to get off right in the bat, I kind of listed like the majority of things that I saw Nintendo announce, and while I didn't stream it or anything, I think, you know, I realized after my E3 stream last year that I'm not really that interested in too many games outside of very specific ones that I get super hyped for, so I didn't really feel necessary to, you know, stream the Nintendo Direct, just because I didn't think we were going to get anything Zelda related, so it wouldn't have been as exciting for me. I just kind of, you know, just watched it, and I made note though of what really highlighted the Direct for me. So you know, outside of, you know, the cool Mario games from Luigi's Mansion 3 coming out on the Switch, which I'm excited for, Mario and Luigi in Bowser's Inside Story, which is also coming out for the 3DS, which is cool, and Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS. This is stuff that I find interesting, but I might pick up, but I don't really know how into it I'm going to get. The games I'm really excited for that they announced, though, is the line of Final Fantasy games that are coming out for the Switch. I got really hyped seeing that. After first they announced Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, and I found it so funny because I remember a lot of people mentioning how, oh, Final Fantasy might get a Switch release, 15 specifically. I'm like, that's impossible. If on the PS4, Xbox, it doesn't even run that well. And even on PC, if you have a beast PC, it still has really long loading times, and just generally is a, I don't want to say poorly optimized game, it's just probably just too much for, you know, this generation of consoles to handle. You know, Square Enix, they for some reason like to go above and beyond with their games, and this one was no exception in terms of like capability, but in my opinion it definitely wasn't a really good game altogether. Like, it performed great, but it just lacked in terms of story and yeah, just the direction it went. But that's my opinion. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, so I'm excited for the old school games coming out. I'm not gonna touch Pocket Edition on the Switch. That's ridiculous. Like, I could play it on my freaking phone. Why would I play it on the Switch? That's taking it too far. You know, I'm not gonna play phone games on the Switch unless it's like, well, actually no, I'm lying then, because maybe if, you know, Oceanhorn 2 was released on the Switch, I might play it. But I believe, hopefully it is a release that's like on some consoles or something like that, because that game looks really interesting. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, you should look up, you know, my Zelda-like video of Oceanhorn. You can see me play the original. But It's a very Zelda-like game. But anyways, yeah, outside of this, all the Final Fantasy games, I am excited for Yoshi's Crafted World. That was also a really cool addition. It obviously reminds me of, you know, from Kirby's Epic Yarn to, what was the Yoshi game that they had? Was it also with Yarn? I think it was, but regardless, this is a really cool concept. You know, I love how Nintendo makes things look so realistic. Obviously, they did that in, like, what, Super Paper Mario or whatever the more, Color Splash, there you go. Had like, you know, realistic things, you know, in the game and stuff. And I just find it really humorous. It's a cool concept altogether in these lighthearted games to kind of get something, you know, just out there. So that game looks very interesting. Another game that I never thought I'd be interested in is Diablo 3. Now, I have like battle.net and I downloaded it because I believe it's free, I want to say. Maybe it's not. But I tried it before on the PC, and I don't really like it. It just, you know, I like the way it plays. It kind of reminds me of League of Legends, but not a PvP game, more of a PvE game. So it's interesting, but yeah, it's not that good of a game. But since Ganon is going to be in it, or you can have Ganon's armor as one of the classes within the game, I am super interested in it now because I want to, you know, cosplay as Ganon in Diablo 3. I think that sounds really interesting and fun, and we'll see how it goes. I'll definitely maybe stream it or something like that. I mentioned streaming soon. I'm going to be, you know, getting into that real soon. Maybe by the end of this month, start of the next month. And the reason why I'm kind of delaying it is because I really want to finish my main LP. So that way, when I start new games on a stream, I don't have to, like, get confused with all of these different games. I feel like I already did that mistake with Xenoblade and then starting like so many other games after that and just leaving it in the dust. So I don't want to do that with streams either. And overall, I just want when I start streaming to have a more consistent schedule even when it comes to streaming. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. But to get back to you know, Nintendo Direct and my thoughts and opinions, I would have to say another game that really caught my interest obviously was the upcoming Animal Crossing. That was at the very end. I feel like it's funny because when I was watching it, I'm like, okay, why are they showing like the way the graphics looked for you know, Isabelle in her you know, little office and doing her thing. It was obvious it was like something related with Smash. I assumed that, and then it eventually was, but luckily, you know, Nintendo didn't just, you know, pretty much, you know, tease Animal Crossing fans with something like that and then deny them. We eventually are going to be getting a Animal Crossing for the Switch sometime next year. I believe they did mention 2019, so super excited for that. That might be something I might maybe do like 30 days of, because I want to do that with the 3DS version, especially because they added like residents like Link, Wolflink, Ganon, and Zelda, maybe? I forgot exactly. It's been so long since I played Animal Crossing. I'm so bad at it. Like, I'll open it for a day and then I'll come back after a week and everything is completely different. I'm like, crap. So I'm really excited for the Switch. I feel like that'd be super fun to play on the go, and I'm definitely going to want to make some sort of video on it because yeah, I think Animal Crossing is just a really cool concept Nintendo made, and it's really nice to like always come back to the game and have it reflect your real time and all of that. And I feel like it would perform really well on the Switch with what the Switch is. It's a on-the-go console, so I feel like it's perfect for Animal Crossing. But in terms of Isabelle being in Smash, it's cool, you know. The more the merrier, I guess. You know, a lot of people were saying how Skull Kid was probably going to be revealed in the upcoming, or the direct that happened recently, and instead we got Isabelle. You know, they didn't disappoint. I don't think I really expected Skull Kid though to be announced. I did get a good amount of people asking me, you know, if, you know, the little rumors people, you know, stitched together could be real and what my thoughts were. To be honest, I honestly thought it was too far-fetched, and it just seemed kind of random. Like, I don't know, Skull Kid, while he is removed as an assist trophy and now we have the moon itself literally crashing down, I don't think just because of that mainly that all of a sudden he's going to become a character. I don't know if we have ever had an assist trophy turn into a full-on character. If so, let me know in the comments. That would be interesting, but I just don't see it happening. And even if Skull Kid was never announced, I wouldn't get too upset. I'm more so excited just to see how Young Link's final smashes, and just altogether how, you know, how they are play differently, like from Link to Young Link to Toon Link. I hope that you can really feel the difference and they don't all feel like the same character. But it would be cool for Nintendo to add another Zelda character. I'm just not, like, I'm in no rush, and I wouldn't be really upset if we didn't get one. I feel like there's enough to represent the series, but I'm always open for more. It just seems like it'd be weird to pick not a main character within the series, because they don't really have any side characters, and Skull Kid is more of a side character. Like, you know, we have 2 forms of Zelda, 3 forms of Link, and Ganon, and that's, you know, all pretty much the Triforce. It's always representing the Triforce. It would be cool to maybe have Impa, like, represented from Skyward Sword, but plays like Hyrule Warriors as Impa. That'd be really awesome. But again, like I said, I just don't see Nintendo doing that. I feel like they might be content with the amount of Zelda characters, but I'd love to be proven wrong. But anyways, outside of all of that, I think that's... Oh no, there's one more game. I'm looking at like the list, and I listed a lot more than I want to mention because I don't want to mention everything. But the last game that really caught my interest, this caught my interest way back during E3, I believe, when they first showed it, and that is the Starlink Battle for Atlas. That game looks so fun. Like, you can travel from world to world seamlessly, you know, flying outside of the atmosphere into space itself, and then reaching another planet, which is so insane. I mean, anyone who's into any type of sci-fi or just space traveling must love that idea. It's something No Man's Sky promised us, which became No Man's Lie, and that game was a complete disappointment. I know No Man's Sky 2, or what's it called? Up Next, right? I think No Man's Sky Next. For those who know about No Man's Sky know what I'm talking about. That got a big update and it looks better, but it's too late, you know. Sean Murray messed up. He shouldn't have said what he said before the game came out and then tried delivering it well over 2 years after its release. Now they're giving updates that are somewhat like what we expected the game to actually be. Overall, yeah, I'm more excited for this Nintendo take on a sci-fi traveling world, and you know, instead of it being very sandbox and empty like No Man's Sky was, this looks like it has objectives, characters, things to do, something more interesting. And what excites me the most, obviously, is the little toy. No, I'm kidding. I don't really care for the stupid toys. They have, like, you can literally put Star Fox's R-Wing on your controller and play it. It's so weird, but no, I'm not excited for that. I'm more so excited literally to play with Star Fox. They mentioned how the crew is going to be in it, and then they literally showed in the Nintendo Direct that Wolf is definitely in it. So I have a feeling that we're getting all 4, you know, the Star Fox team and Wolf as all playable characters in the game, and that is so exciting because I'm a huge fan of Star Fox. You know, Star Fox 64 was a game I grew up playing so much, and I absolutely loved it, especially the different pathways you had to take, and just how the game was altogether put. Like, it is almost like an arcade shooter, but they did it so well, and it's going to be really cool to get more of an open galaxy version. I would say open world, but it's more than one world, so super hyped for that. But anyways, I guess that does it for the update and my Nintendo Direct opinions and stuff for those who were curious. But I think I'm going to move on now to the Q&A to not stall the video any longer, because that usually takes a while, and then we'll move on to the little challenge at the very end. So anyways, yeah, to Discord in the Night Academy for some Q&A questions. Let's go. Alright, so the first question comes from Stealth Warrior, and it asks, what is your favorite platform to game anything on? And what's your favorite platform to play any of the Zelda games on? So, my favorite platform to game anything on would have to be the PlayStation 4. It may sound weird because Zelda's my favorite series, so you'd imagine it'd be a Nintendo console, but if it came to play anything on, the PlayStation, hands down, is the best. Like, it's not just a gaming console, it's a multimedia console altogether. You can pretty much play anything on it. You can play games while having Spotify playing. Super convenient, and not only that, like, let's say I went to a friend's house and I wanted to log in to my account and play a game of mine. I don't have to, like, do anything at home. I can literally just log in through their PlayStation, download my save file, and download my, you know, purchased game onto his console and play it through my profile. Like, it's so convenient, and it's amazing how just awesome the PlayStation is compared to the other consoles. Some people might say the Xbox has that, but its interface is so bad, it looks horrible. Like, I literally bought an Xbox One and I regretted it. All it does is gather dust. Horrible console in my opinion, but you know, that's opinionated. You might see it otherwise, but in my opinion, the PlayStation is the best console out there, 100%. And you know, it's something I play a lot if I'm not playing any Nintendo games. But in terms of a Nintendo console, because if I had to pick a Zelda console, it'd obviously be the Wii U, because if we're talking about playing Zelda games, the Wii U has almost every Zelda game on it. I can play, you know, Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, the, I believe the Oracle games, maybe not, but I know I can play Link's Awakening, A Link to the Past, Zelda 1, Zelda 2. Like, there's so many games on it. They have all these virtual console games. It's so perfect, and as you can see by my, Wind Waker Switch, my Wind Waker Wii U, which is based off the gamepad. Yeah, it is just overall a really cool console that I actually have that represents Zelda, and it is nice to come back to and play. I mean, every time I want to play TP HD or Wind Waker HD, which I do play often, is on that. Like, I really wish I could just play it on the Switch, and if the Switch had all of these games, it would be my favorite, but since it doesn't, it's sadly not. So hopefully Nintendo does that soon, but hopefully that answers your question. The next question comes from GamerFan6119, and it asks, do you think the Switch should have voice chat online instead of being on smartphones, and do you think people are overreacting about the whole voice chat thing? Now, I don't know if you're talking about like with Splatoon, how you have to download an app to chat with your friends on that app, and it requires literally a whole other console, and they had this like weird input where you plug it into your phone and into your Switch to then listen to, I guess, the game audio and your, you know, friends audio as well, which is ridiculous. So yes, clearly I dislike that. Like, I pretty much just is kind of answered in the previous question with, you know, how like I prefer the PS4 over any other console. The PlayStation, you know, allows you to, you know, chat with a friend immediately as you, you know, get into a like party. You can easily voice chat with them. You can put on, you know, headphones through your controller so you can hear them perfectly and have them hear you perfectly. Like, it's just insanely convenient. Nintendo is so backwards with how they do online in every sort of way. Like, one issue I have with it is, like, let's say you want to play Splatoon with a friend. You can't even hop in a lobby with a friend because it's gonna randomly, you know, jumble up who is with what, and you're gonna be up against your friend instead of on their team. Same thing with Mario Kart. You can't like hop in online on an online session and, you know, try to get on the same team or something. Like, it's so weird how they, you know, they always had online, and now they're gonna have us pay for online, and it's still garbage. So I did notice that in their Nintendo Direct, when they uploaded the you know, online, you know, detail video about the Switch, it got crazy dislikes, and a lot of people were hating on it because we're not really getting much for paying $20 a year. Even, like, you may say, oh, that's not a lot of money, but Nintendo's online sucks. It's not even worth a penny, let alone $20. Yeah, for PlayStation and Xbox you have to pay way more, but why is Nintendo even hopping on this market when they always like had horrible online? And no, like, it was just, it's ridiculous. So maybe with the money they'll improve it, but it doesn't seem like it. It's not like they really, you know, went into detail about that. The only detail they went is like the, you know, download retro games and stupid stuff like that. Stuff that I'm not really too big of. I just want better online, better connectivity, better ways to play with your friends, and just, you know, take it more seriously, because it's like, you know, we're pretty much at the point where, you know, online games are the easiest way to play instead of playing with you know, a bunch of people on the same couch. Like, I can easily hop online with my friends in the same house, and I'd rather do that like on my own computer than all of us like gather up in the same room, because it's so convenient. So with Nintendo, it'd be cool for them to eventually do that. But who knows, maybe they want the whole, you know, like gathering family type thing, you know, they're making like how Mario Party has this tabletop mode and stuff. So it seems like they're not really catering to, you know, I guess a certain, group of people who prefer that type of style, which I happen to be one of them. So we'll see. Hopefully they do that. I don't think people are overreacting over anything when it comes to Nintendo and their overall way of dealing with online and how they structure things, because it's always sucked in my opinion. And hopefully we get some improvement with this, Switch Online. I'm obviously going to be paying for it, and I guess I'll update you guys in the future on what I think about it when we really get a chance to experience the Switch Online, I don't even know what to call it. Like, it's just what, Switch Online program, whatever it is. Like, we already have online on the Switch. I don't get it, but whatever. We'll see what happens, and at least we get cloud save. So they finally realize that that's a thing, and that people can easily lose their Switch, and it would suck if that happened, because you'd lose everything you've done on that Switch, which is ridiculous how they made a portable console that is very fragile not have a way of backing things up until now. But they're doing it, so yeah. I know it seems like it may be a little bit overcritical, but it's tough love. I love Nintendo, but they need to, get their game together. So yeah, anyways, hopefully that answers that. The next question comes from Peachy Aquamarine Haley, and it asks, are you a fan of any Final Fantasy games? If so, what is your favorite? So, as mentioned earlier, yes, huge fan of Final Fantasy. I'm really excited to get these games on the Switch, but in terms of my favorite, I would have to say probably Final Fantasy IV, specifically the remake that's on the PS Vita and DS, not 3DS, but DS. I really like the way they remade the game and the marshmallow graphics. I remember being a fan of the original, but it definitely didn't hold up in terms of the way it looked. Like, I really like the remake they went for. I know it's not the best style of graphics, but yeah, it's just such a good game. And that game, I don't know, resonated with me a lot when I was younger. It was so cool to see, like, a Dark Knight turn into a paladin, and just the whole story with Cecil and Kain and just all of it. Like, it was such a altogether really good game, and I'd say that one, mainly because of nostalgia, is the reason why it's my favorite of the Final Fantasy. And I'm actually a huge fan of the older Final Fantasies over the newer ones. That's why I'm a huge fan of Dragon Quest, because I feel like, Square, like, they made Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. It was super alike. And then they kind of let Dragon Quest be the same thing, and then they evolved Final Fantasy to no end, and now it's just so much different than what it originally started off as. Like, look at 15 and look at 1, but then look at Dragon Quest 1 or Dragon Warriors, and then look at Dragon Quest 11. Like, it's still the same thing. It's crazy. And as much as I do like how Square stayed true with Dragon Quest, I'm glad that they changed things up with Final Fantasy. I just wish not as much. Like, it was still fun to have a very medieval or fantasy or just old school like look to it, in terms of like now where, they started with what, Final Fantasy 6 had a futuristic robot, or what was it even from, no, 5 was, I'm trying to think, I believe it was from 6, because I know with 7 it was already like, it was completely steampunk, and then after that, yeah, it just kept going. No, 8 was pretty good though. I mean, 8 had like a gun blade. Overall, like, they went away from the whole fantasy thing and kind of, it became more modern. And for those who may not know, I'm more into, that old school sword play, just generally like a medieval setting. That's why I'm so obsessed with Zelda. I like that over a more futuristic look, and that's why I feel like Final Fantasy isn't as exciting as it was for me then. The Warriors of Light from Final Fantasy 1, with 2, they literally went to hell. With 3, it's such a, rehash of 1 almost, and it's really fun because you have the 4 Warriors of Light again, and you have to like kind of assemble their classes, and you have like hundreds of classes to choose from. So I think my general point is I love the first 4, and I feel like it started to change a bit as they went on. There's still good games. Like 5, 6, 7, amazing. 8, still a good game. 9 actually was really good. I believe that was the last one on the PlayStation 1. And then, yeah, I don't know after that. Like, I wasn't really a fan of 10, 2, and 11 was, I believe, online, right? Was the failed version of online. 12 didn't really play it. I'm glad that the Switch is actually getting the remake for it. 13 was okay. I actually tried LPing that on my channel way back with Lightning, and you know, I did like Lightning. I didn't actually like Lightning Returns, but I liked the second one, which was what, 13-2 I think was the name. It wasn't as bad, but moving to 14, which is online, that's too time consuming. I tried playing that, and then obviously 15, I streamed it, and you guys may know my opinions about it. I don't know why I'm getting into every single one from 1 to 15, especially since there's a lot of spin-offs, and even with Final Fantasy IV being my favorite one, there is a like after years version of it, which, you know, continues after the story, but I wasn't really a big fan of that version. I just really liked the original story that it had. So yeah, anyways, you know, might as well just answer every single Final Fantasy from 1 to 15, give you my opinion. So hopefully that answers your question more than you expected. And yeah, let's move on to the next. The next question comes from Cat Whisperer, and it asks, would you ever do a Full House tour? Now, I know Fuller House is on Netflix, but I don't know about okay, that was a stupid joke. No, in terms of doing a Full House tour, I would not do it myself, but you might eventually get one, and that will be on Mo's channel. Because for those who don't know, he's done a, you know, apartment tour of the last 2 apartments I live with him in, and since he has lived in this one, he's always planned on doing a house tour and eventually showing off how the whole house is, and, you know, small snippets of each room and stuff, which will include my room. But you can always watch my room tour in a previous Epona Express video. But my point is, if he ever does it before we eventually leave this house, you will get a full room tour. Thing is, I feel like it's his thing. I don't really want to show off the whole house. It's not really something I feel like I need to put in video, but it is cool when he does it to kind of document it. So yeah, maybe look forward to that. If he ever does do a house tour, I'm definitely going to make sure to mention it in an Epona Express video or something like that for you guys to check out. So yeah, hopefully that answers that. The next question comes from Orenji Ray, and it asks, hey Luke, you're my favorite YouTuber, and I would love to send you some stuff. Do you have a P.O. box? Okay, well, thank you so much, Orenji Ray. I appreciate it. In terms of having a P.O. box, that's something I wanted to open for so long. Actually, if anything, the idea was for Epona Express to get your mail as well, outside of, you know, answering questions, but that never happened because when I tried opening up a P.O. box, there were so many issues, and it just never worked out. I don't know if I'll open one now. If I ever do, I'm definitely going to include it in this series and hopefully have you guys send me stuff, because I've had a couple of you guys mention how you guys want to send me something to kind of open on video or talk about it. I would love to do that, but yeah, it's just no convenient way to have you know, things sent to me, so I'm definitely gonna have to look into that again. But I don't think it will be this year. Maybe it will be next year when I like move out and find a new place, settle down there, and then eventually get a P.O. box for a long period of time, because I wouldn't want to get one for, you know, a couple months and then kind of have it end. So we'll see. Like, if there isn't one open next year, I'll definitely update you guys on it. But anyways, yeah, thanks for the question and the offer, I appreciate it. The next question comes from The Outsider, and it asks, will you keep doing Zelda content till the end of time? I mean, I understand Zelda is the whole thing for your channel, but if you're focused on the long term, then doing one thing isn't a good thing. That's a fair point, I guess. I mean, I'm definitely planning on branching out, like I said. I just feel like I'm not gonna do it yet. You know, I want to kind of focus on what I haven't finished and just put out some of the ideas that I've been sitting on for a long time. But as mentioned before, I want to eventually do Xenoblade and take it seriously. The thing is, I feel like I kind of messed up with Xenoblade 2. I might eventually, you know, fully LP 1, and I will finish 2. Just like I said, once I see the feedback you guys have for it, and, you know, we'll look into it later in the month. But in general, outside of those two, it's like I don't really care even if I were to do Zelda till the end of time. I feel like I have endless things to talk about when it comes to the games. Yeah, I'll finish every single LP and have it all archived, but it doesn't mean I don't have other things to talk about. So I don't see that being a bad thing, especially if newer Zelda games come out, new things to talk about. But Zelda will always be the main thing on the channel, even though I'll end up doing a lot more other games in the future. You know, Zelda's what started the channel, and that's something I always want to stay with, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna mainly have Zelda the main focus, but don't worry, I will branch out, and I plan on it, and I will be getting it to it real soon. Like, I'm not only going to be doing Zelda until I finish every game and, can't really come up with anything. And I don't ever see that happening. Especially, I mean, even when it comes to LPs, I've re-LP'd so many games and they still have been fun to me. Even though I feel like it's been repetitive to put on the channel again and again, I could replay Zelda games endlessly, so I'm not afraid of that being an issue ever, but hopefully that answers your question for what it's worth. The next question comes from Epic Potato, and it asks, is there a chance this post will be on the video? Yes. The next question comes from Captain Obvious, and it asks, when did you start YouTube? Now, if you click my channel, there is a chance that the URL will sometimes say ZeldaMaster 2010, and that's when I started my YouTube channel. It wasn't, I went by ZeldaMaster in the year because I didn't see myself even having a YouTube channel longer than that year. But as time went on, I eventually wanted to do LPs, because at first when I started YouTube, I was mainly just commenting on videos and stuff like that. But obviously I was inspired and I really wanted to make content of my own. And yeah, by the end of 2010 into 2011, I started making videos and taking it seriously, but I did kind of remove a lot of videos. Like, I have a full Twilight Princess LP that is completely privated, and I don't want to have that public. I mean, it's not like I need to. I have 3 other TPLPs already up on the channel. We don't need a 4th really old, outdated, horrible one that I edited on Windows Movie Maker. But yeah, I started way back then. I was around 15 to 16, and I pretty much did it since. I took it more seriously than my time in high school, and then ever since after high school, it's just been my main thing. So yeah, it's kind of insane. I never imagined this being my main lifestyle, but I started it then. It's soon gonna be well over 10 years. In 2 years from would it be in 2 years from now? Technically exactly 2 years from now, my channel will be 10 years old. But I guess starting YouTube, it will be 8 years or something like that. Taking it super seriously and having my, being able to find my first few videos. But yeah, pretty much you could say since 2010 is when I started YouTube and I got into the community and all of that, and overall wanted to do videos. But maybe one day, and like I said, I actually want to show off some of my older videos, so maybe one day I'll do a reaction or something to it so you can see where I actually started. Because if you jump back to my first OOT video, that wasn't the first time doing commentary. I was a million times worse, and that was already bad at the time. So yeah, but we all start somewhere, and I think it's something that you should always not have you hold back. If you're trying to start YouTube, you should definitely just go for it, even if you feel like your videos aren't good. Practice makes perfect, so you want to just keep improving. Till now, I feel like I'm improving so much. Every single year I look back at my videos and I see a huge improvement. So yeah, you're always just striving to get better, so that's how I look at it. I don't really think that has anything to do with your question, but just thought I might as well add that in there. But anyways, yeah, that answers that. The next question comes from CryoGeekYT, and it asks, will you ever do speedrunning in a stream and then use the footage to make a tutorial on how to do it? I don't really speedrun, so no, unless maybe somehow when I start streaming, I wanted to pick up speedrunning, but I don't see that happening, though, I want to make more tutorials altogether in terms of outside of LPs, because that is actually, that's something I will hopefully eventually do. That doesn't really answer your question, but do expect tutorials altogether, because one thing I'm not too happy with is how, my LPs, even though they do serve as guides, they're 30 minutes to an hour long, especially the Breath of the Wild one. So it would be cool to have mini guides of, things that people just want to see exactly. So I am thinking about eventually doing some cool guides and stuff like that. But no, it will have nothing to do with speed running. Just at least playing well enough, but not well enough to break the game and speedrun and do everything frame perfect. I don't think I'll ever want to take a Zelda game that seriously. I think the most maybe speedrun Breath of the Wild until Ganon without having to 100% it or any main quest completion. So literally going from the Great Plateau to Ganon, sure, I'd love to master that, but I don't want to spend so many hours on the same game repeating things. I don't know, speedrunning requires a lot of skill and a lot of just determination, mainly determination over skill, because the determination will give you the skill. I don't really have determination for just one game. Even though I love replaying Zelda games, I like taking the game in and not breaking the game and trying to finish it as soon as possible. Everyone has their own preference. That's my preference. I'm not one who's really into breaking the game or anything like that. The next question comes from Harvester, and it asks, are you okay with where you are in life? It's an interesting question, but the answer is yes, for sure. I mean, my job is playing my favorite game and doing videos on it, and just, you know, stuff I was doing since high school as a hobby is pretty much my day-to-day job. So yes, I'm really happy with how things have panned out. Like I mentioned before, never expecting it being this way, but I do want to thank you guys so much for, you know, making this a reality. Of course, it's obviously people watching that make this possible. So yeah, thank you everyone who, you know, do watch these videos, especially the ones who watch stuff like this, because this is just literally me answering questions. It has nothing to do with games per se. While I am talking about games, you know, you're taking the time out of your day, whether you're listening to this in the background or just actually watching the video. I do really appreciate it. Yeah, just thank you so much for watching, all of you. And definitely, you know, really happy where I am thanks to you guys and just, you know, how things have worked out all together. So as I said before, I just really do appreciate it. The next question comes from Person, and it asks, will you ever play the Unreal Engine version of Ocarina of Time again? There is new updates and you can get inside the Deku Tree and do the puzzles and stuff. I might not. I've done, 2 videos showcasing 2 different mods of Ocarina of Time on Unreal Engine. One was where Link could dab, and the other was by CryZenX, and I'm assuming the one you're talking about might be by CryZenX, but altogether I feel bad just like showcasing their content when, you know, they're already doing videos on it. Like, if you want to see it, well, there won't be commentary or my reaction, you can watch their stuff. You know, I've done one video on both to kind of just showcase it, but I don't want to constantly be doing videos on all their hard work and update and stuff like that. If they ever make a full version that you can truly play and experience and they want to see people's reactions, sure, I'll do something like that, but I feel bad pretty much stealing their content and reacting over it. They're not, you know, companies making full-on games that you can guide people through. They're, you know, it's passion projects, and I'm pretty sure it's something Nintendo doesn't approve of, so it's not even something I want to bring more light to, let alone just take, you know, their hard work and react over it. So yeah, maybe if CryZenX or I feel bad because I forgot the other one who's working on the other mod of on the Unreal Engine of OOT. But if they ever do, you know, make something or want people to really play their mods and stuff, I'll definitely look into it because I'm more than interested. But for now, in terms of like fan-made projects, I'm gonna focus more so on full-on fan-made games. Things are so little, and the few we've played like never even finished, or they're so hard to find online now, and yeah, it just kind of sucks. I wish Zelda was like Pokemon, where there were just 100 different remakes, but I'm sure Pokemon is so much easier to make. You know, you can make a Pokemon game super easily. The structure is so simple compared to making a Zelda game. You gotta create your own puzzles. You gotta think of the, you know, the mind of a game designer that works at Nintendo, and the few games we have played have been really good, but yeah, sadly they're very few and far between, so it sucks, but hopefully in the future we'll get more fan-made stuff, because I am more than hyped to try out some new things that involve The Legend of Zelda. The next and final question, because I feel like I've been taking too long with these replies. Well, I haven't answered too many questions. I've been kind of dragging on the replies, so I apologize for that, but hopefully in the next episode we'll cover a ton more questions, and my replies will start to get shorter once I'm done constantly adding things to an answer. But this question comes from Elliot and asks, will you ever do A Link to the Past Super Metroid randomizer? If you're confused, look it up. Okay, I am confused because I don't know what that is, which switches between Super Metroid and Link to the Past, and it's all randomized. Wow. Okay, well, I am going to look that up, and I'm definitely going to look into it, but probably after Ocarina of Time randomizer, we're going to be streaming that. Hopefully, actually, next week on YouTube, not on Twitch. Twitch will be, like I said, later in the month, but if you're looking for a randomizer, sadly, it's not that one, and again, I'm going on to another answer that has nothing to do with this one, but that's just apparently how I answer my questions. But just, you know, yeah, keep in mind that I will be doing a randomizer hopefully sometime next week. If I finish Ocarina of Time 3D Master Quest, then I'm definitely going to be starting it, and the whole LP will be on YouTube. We're going to see how we can beat it, because I never tried it out, and from the few friends who have been playing it, they warned me that it's insane. Like, you know, you gotta, obviously I know how to 100% the game, so it's not going to be difficult to find the chests. It's just going to be difficult to hope I get lucky with the randomization that I'm going to be getting with all the items and stuff. So yeah, really excited to overall play a randomizer, and once we play Ocarina of Time, I'll eventually, you know, move on to other ones from Majora's Mask to Wind Waker. To Link to the Past, we'll play them all. So yeah, look forward to that. That's actually cool, because I totally forgot. Those are technically fan-made hacks, because, you know, it's definitely a hack, but it keeps the game true to what it was. So yeah, even though we don't have, you know, certain new versions of Zelda games hacked and made, we can replay through the old ones with the randomizer twist, and I think that's super exciting. But anyways, that does it for that question, and that does it for the Q&A section in general, because I don't want this video to drag on for too long, but I still have one last segment I want to add into this video, and that is the challenge. So let's go ahead and get into that. Alright, so as you can see, we got some gameplay on the screen. I'm playing some Breath of the Wild, and for our first challenge, it is a pretty simple one. I didn't want to do anything too crazy, but for our very first challenge in Epona Express, to win yourself a copy of the game you'll be playing, Breath of the Wild. I mean, you don't actually have to get this. You can get yourself any Switch or just general Nintendo game you want. That is $60 if you win this. But the general challenge is not only to beat my time, because my time is actually going to be the base time. Like, it's not going to be that good, because I actually suck at these mini games. That's why I think it's going to be fun to challenge you guys. I want to see what you guys have to offer in terms of these mini games. Maybe there's someone out there who's really talented at these that can show us how to take on these mini games, including the Sand Seal Race. So yes, this is the race in the Sand Seal Rally that is located, you know, just outside of the Gerudo town, and you know, in doing this you get yourself a blessing shrine, of course, but you want to make sure when you take on this race that you already have the blessing shrine unlocked, and you're just trying to get you know, a new score altogether. You know, nothing too insane, too crazy, just you know, beat my record and see if you can beat anyone else's who enters. So you can obviously do as many tries as you want. Just record your best try and make sure you show me at the very end what your time ends up at. Now obviously, as you can see by me, I'm not doing too hot, and I don't even care, because I want you guys to mainly be challenged by each other. Like, I never thought I was good at these mini games, to be completely honest with you guys, so I don't feel bad doing this. But yeah, I would love to see other people try it out. And I'm starting to get cold, we gotta go quick. Yeah, so my record, am I really gonna lose HP here? I don't think it matters, no matter how much HP I lose, but my record at the very end is gonna be, I want to make sure I get the perfect time of it, less than 150, 116, literally right before 117. I'll take a screenshot. Wow, I got a new record too. I suck at this. So heck yeah, I'll take another screenshot just in case. But as you can see, that is my record. 1:16:59, right? Is that, I believe, what it said? That's how many milliseconds I have. I mean, I can easily just go ahead and do this, because I do want to keep it away. Oops, not eShop. Oops. This, and I'm going to keep it up on the screen so you guys can see the record. I kind of like seeing it here. Link with his hands up. No, okay. We're going to keep the new record right here. So you got to not only beat this record, but beat the record of everyone who enters. And whoever has the highest record of whoever enters this little challenge will get the chance of winning their own, copy of, Breath of the Wild if you want to give it to a friend and you happen to have the Wii U version and, maybe want the Wii or the Switch version or anything. If you want this, you'll be getting your own physical copy. But if you don't want a physical copy of Breath of the Wild, since it'd be kind of weird if you already own it on the Switch, I mean, you have to own at least a version of it to enter this competition. So I do feel weird giving out a copy of Breath of the Wild, so I'll be giving out any $60 game. I'll just give out an eShop gift card to whoever wins. So yes, this isn't a randomized thing. You literally can win this yourself just by entering and trying to win. So please show me your score. Show me how good you are at, Breath of the Wild seal surfing minigame. I would love to see everyone enter and stuff like that. Now, you don't have to have a recording device, because I'm sure some people may be wondering, well, do I need some sort of capture card or anything, that's already going to add to it. And no, you can record this with your phone. If for some reason you can't record it with your phone, or you couldn't record it live, or you weren't recording when you got your record, just do what I did. Screenshot it and make sure to show me that it's in your Nintendo Switch gallery, so I know it's not photoshopped either, because I want to make sure that it's as legit as it can get. So if you're not recording yourself doing it from start to finish, and you happen to get a really good record that you want to enter, then record yourself opening the screenshot on your Switch album, kind of like what I did. So, it's proof that it's actually on your Switch and that you took the screenshot yourself. So just some way to, verify that it's authentic, because I don't want anyone just to take this current screenshot, Photoshop it, and post it as in they want. I mainly want to see gameplay. So yeah, please show your gameplay of it. Showcase how you took it on, and yeah, if you're interested in this, just make sure to enter. Literally, there's not much of a score you have to beat. It's just, it depends on how many other people enter, if you have to beat their score or not. So I hope you guys are excited for the very first challenge, and are excited for the prize. Hopefully one of you guys will come out on top, and we will announce the winner 2 weeks from now in the next Epona Express episode, where I'll be showcasing the top 3 ones that have entered. Hopefully we get a bunch of people entering, so we got a lot of cool things to check out. I'm really excited for this, and I want to do more of this. There's so many mini games in Breath of the Wild, so I'm going to be focusing on these first, and we'll move on to other Zelda games and other things. Anyways, I'm going to make sure to make a channel on where you can post it. It's going to be called Epona Express Challenges or something, where you can literally link your video challenge or your screenshot challenge or anything like that, with your Discord name. So that way, literally, so I guess you have to be a part of the Night Academy to be a part of this as well, because I want to make sure whoever posted it, I can easily message them straight on Discord, get all the information I need, just like that. So yeah, that does that. I think it'd be really fun. You should make sure you join the Night Academy. Make sure you post your submission in the chat. A new chat room that will be added later today. As soon as this video up, it should already be in it. So yeah, anyways, I guess that does it for this episode of Epona Express. Might as well stop it here. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next episode, or just generally another video, which hopefully will be from tomorrow. Expect more Ocarina of Time. So yeah, I'll see you all then. Bye!